Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to fourth quarter. What is going on? We are here. Well, let's go, guys. Hey, I got a new toy this week, so if y'all hear some sound effects, we don't have to make our own sound effects anymore for who you got. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be bootleg. We can afford a little bit. Craig, what is going on, man?
What is chilling, man? Getting ready for this tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen, we're gonna talk about it, and hopefully we join us later. But I cannot wait to talk about the tournament. This year is, I don't know, Craig. We were just talking about it. It's a weird spot because I love March Madness, and March Madness is going to be. I think this March Madness is going to be crazy. It's going to be some nice basketball played, but like the NBA hasn't really been NBAing. You know, it's a weird thing. It's weird, man.
I mean, usually around this time, it's mostly college basketball takes over, and then once the tournament's over, it gets to a couple weeks left in the NBA season, and then you get the playoffs and stuff like that. So it'll pick back up in the NBA down the stretch, but usually this is where the tournament takes over. So I'm here for it.
I hope so. I'm here for it. I am glad. I do have some questions now. Guys, I finished my bracket. I might tinker with it, but I think I'm done. I don't know if I'm gonna. I want to wait till Mo gets here. I guess to reveal the champion. I guess we can reveal our champions next week because it's going to be set in stone, right? Yeah, you can't change it after. Can't change it after tomorrow, guys. Just not to. Once 12 a.m. hits, if your bracket is not in, does it fill it for you or is it done?
No, you can't submit it after 12.
Submit it, right?
I think it may be like a little bit after 12, maybe, or maybe it cuts off at 12, but you got to be submitted, at least on ESPN, you got to be, or one of the sites that don't, where you don't need to pick the first four games to last night's games and tonight's games, and yeah. You got a little bit more time.
12's cutting it close. 12 is cutting it close. I'll be at work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be at work, but
usually I would be able to watch it. It's just, I mean, I remember one year, man, 2013. Shout out. I was with Joe, Corey. We were over Joe's house. Man, it was a live time. We were just watching tournament games, man, live. It was fun. Next year I might take off, but it's always a weird busy time for me, man. Every year. Next year I might just say I'm taking this day off, but you know. Because once that first game starts, it just starts rolling, young, and I can't wait for it. So
it's gonna be a long day tomorrow.
It's gonna be a long day. I can't wait. Now, quick question: have you haven't picked your champion yet?
I picked everything already. I
don't want to tell you my champion. I don't.
I mean,
I don't want to tell you my champion. If you log into the ESPN app, you can see it.
No, you can't see it yet. You can't.
Oh, you can't. Oh, that's why. So we don't know. So Mo could have picked it. Oh, so you don't see it till tomorrow. That's what makes sense. Okay. All right. So now we did talk earlier. A lot of people are picking UConn. Are you picking UConn?
In majority of my brackets, I am picking UConn.
Ooh, back to back.
I think this team is better than last year's team, but it's been so many. This year has been a weird year during the regular season. Anyway, there's been so many upsets of non-top 25 unranked teams beating ranked teams, especially in the top 10 throughout the whole season. So it wouldn't surprise. But then you get in the tournament, and the tournament is the tournament. So and anybody can be beaten on any given night because it's a one-game elimination. So you don't have your best game, then you're pretty much done. But there's been times where teams have put out basically A efforts or A plus efforts against Connecticut, and they still were able to hold on to win the game, or they still were able to win the game regardless. Like they were beating St. John's gave them a great game. Like St. John's probably played one of the best games of the year, and they were still down double digits at one point. They came up and they ended up losing by single digits, but it's just so hard to beat UConn. It's just going to be, and that was in the tournament. So it's hard to beat UConn. It's the reason why they're the hands-on favorite. They've only lost 3 games. They pretty much been the most consistent team the whole season. So the only team out of the 1 seeds to win their conference tournament. So they deserve to be the favorite. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody beat them along the way. Maybe not in the first or the second round, but possibly the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8. It wouldn't surprise me. So it's gonna be really, really fun to watch because I like this. Obviously, I want to see my team do well and not lose to a 16 in the first round. But I'm here for certain teams getting upsets. Like I'm always here for Cinderella teams. We saw that last year with Florida Atlantic making the Final Four and San Diego State making the Final Four. So it need to make the championship game. So this is what it's about for me. Like I just like watching teams just go out there and pull off magical upsets. And then we've seen 15s beat a 2. We've seen a 16 beat a 1 last year.
Yeah.
So anything's possible.
Yeah. Yes. And the words of Kevin Garnett, anything is possible. I'm picking North Carolina, man.
Oh my God.
He calls me a jinx guy.
Oh my God, man. You could have picked no other team. There's 67 teams.
I've been on. I like y'all, man.
More than that.
I think y'all do. I think you do. I think y'all do, y'all. Y'all have a
A lot of teams that do. Arizona.
Y'all have a good chance.
Purdue's
a really good chance. Y'all okay. Y'all are gonna go super far. I'm telling you. I think you're gonna win it all. I think you're gonna take it.
Second round matchup's gonna be tough. If they get
second round,
Wagner.
Michigan State.
Mississippi State played really good defense in that tournament against who did they play? Tennessee, I think. Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah. Their defense in that game was amazing. So
I mean it's they gotta get by. Now let me ask you this. All right. Do you think it's gonna be any 1 or 6 teams?
Any what?
16 seeds winning.
I don't think so. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me just because I've seen it already twice.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, nothing's going to surprise me in the tournament. I've seen every single seed.
Yeah.
Win a game. So, and I think the last 3 years in a row, I think a 15 has beaten a 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But 16's beating a 1. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see it. I don't see it this year. I think the besides Carolina, those 3 teams have been for the most part the 3 best teams in college basketball. So from pretty much the whole season, even though Houston got blown out in their championship game, and Purdue lost in their semifinal, I think. But I mean, those 3 teams have been really consistent.
Yeah,
Carolina. If they play like they did against Florida State, I think they'll easily win this game, and they should win this game. Obviously, all the ones should win their game. But
yes,
if they have an off night like they did, and they come out slow and sluggish like they did against NC State, anything can happen.
All right. So
So we'll see.
do you have? Okay, I have some weird upset picks. I was actually let me find his name. I was following him popped up in my feed on Instagram. I listened to some of his picks. Um, some of his picks I was like, nah,
Who?
but yeah, I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell
Oh,
you his name right now. Hold on.
hmm.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. I have a wife with a sister. Hold on. I'm gonna find him because I just started following him. Hold on. I'm gonna find him. Shout out to Ryan Hammer 9. Yeah, he's pretty good. Shout out to him, man. Um, he's he's pretty knowledgeable. Oh snap! I ain't gonna tell you who he just picked. Anyway, I didn't know this. I literally just it just popped up on it. But I don't know, man. All right, do you have any? I don't have any 13 winning. It's weird. I don't have any. I have some 12s. I got some upsets. I got like New Mexico's an 11 seed. Oregon is 11 seed. McNeese, it might pull an upset. I got some funky some 12s in there. I don't see. Do you see a team that the farthest I have a low seed going is to the Sweet 16. That's it. I don't have any low seeds in like I have one low seed in Elite Eight. I do. But do you have any low like bracket busters? Do you have how far do you have your bracket buster going? Do you have them going to like the final four?
No,
Nah.
I mean that's it's possible, but no, I think I got him in the Sweet 16.
My last one
My
is the
last
Elite Eight.
double
I think
digit
so.
seed or something like that.
Yep, the Elite Eight. Got one going to the Elite Eight and one in the Sweet 16. So this is gonna be interesting. There's gonna be some interesting games. I can't wait. Somebody's bracket is gonna go. Somebody, because everybody bracket starts green. And then after the first day, it's red everywhere. Slash, 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 slash.
Yeah, mine was bad last year. My my champion went out in the first round. The first I don't know, was the first day.
Who
I picked
Purdue?
Arizona last. No, I picked Arizona.
Oh, who did Arizona get upset about last year?
Some 15 seed.
And you know what? That ESPN, if you're listening, don't need to. I can never see my old brackets that I submitted the years before because I wanted to look at last year's bracket to see how crazy it was. I'm gonna start printing them out when it gets finally done.
Yeah, I don't know if you can
Oh, let me send this link.
see last year.
See what's happening. People asking for the link, man. You know what I'm saying, man? I don't know what's going on, Craig. I don't know what's going on, man. Let me send this link. Um, so who do you have going far? Who's your lowest seed like breaking brackets? I know you have to have one.
I think I got two. I think this is my main one. Yeah. So I'm still I might change some stuff around, but right as of right now, I got New Mexico and I got Oregon, both 11 seeds in the Sweet 16.
Ooh,
But
yeah, I like that.
I might change some things up. Depends on how I feel tomorrow. Do a
Because
little bit
you
more,
can change it. You
a
can
little bit
change
more
it
research.
until right. You can change it
First
until
game's at 12:15.
yeah. We
So
got
I think we
12.
got until at least 12:15, or at least 12, maybe 12:10 or something like that.
I might stick to this. I have. Hold on. You said you have New Mexico going far. Yeah, I got New Mexico going far too.
New Mexico and Oregon, I got in the
I got
16.
I got Creighton beating it. All right,
I think I might go back and at least I might
I
do
might
on my
win. I went a
second
little
one.
wild, man. I
I
went
might do
wild.
a couple more upsets.
I
And
got
this,
McNeese, man. I got McNeese.
I don't know about them.
I got him beating Gonzaga, Kansas, and Purdue.
People
They
are high
going,
on them. I'm not too
and I
high on
got
them.
Drake. I got Drake going pretty far too. Not the rapper, guys. The school. Thank you. You know what I deserve? Good dad joke. Great dad joke. So like, now I have Drake going pretty far, but I think those are the only three. I got Oregon, Drake. Um, this might change, but I have James Madison doing some damage. I got him beating Duke.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I mean, not a lot of people. I've seen a few brackets where
Yeah,
I,
I got James Madison. I might change this. I don't know about McNeese. I might change it to Gonzaga.
McNeese is not a. I mean, they're not going to be afraid of Gonzaga. So
It's a
they
tough pick, though. You know, like
it's a
I
five
could just see
twelve. So
Gonzaga going
last year
to the Sweet 16.
there wasn't any 5-12 upsets.
It wasn't right.
No,
No,
but
that's
this
what I'm
year
saying.
I'm assuming I got to pick at least one 5-12. I think I picked two.
Yeah,
Two
I
or
picked.
two.
Damn, I picked three. I got one of them. Got to go.
Yeah, I picked two or three. I might pick three. I know I at least picked two. It might
Yeah, I
be.
picked.
I might have picked the wrong two. It might be the opposite two. So
Yeah, I
I
picked
don't
McNeese. Uh, hold on. UAB, and I picked James Madison. I don't know, man. I for some reason Duke's odd to me. I don't have them like going far. I got a couple teams like bowing out, like Purdue. I know a lot of people gonna pick them. They're not fooling me again. I got them losing into the Sweet 16.
I'm not picking Purdue. I don't think. They lost to a 13, a 15, and a 16. I'm not. I can't. I
Yeah,
mean,
I have them. So I do have them beating the 16. I have them beating Utah State, but they lose to McNeese. McNeese. Yeah, they're gonna get there and lose. But I wouldn't be surprised if Purdue loses. You know, maybe they pull a Virginia, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think some now look, some people have Purdue winning, man. Some people have Purdue winning.
I think they have on ESPN. They're like the third highest. It was Carolina, and then Purdue went past them. I think it's yeah, it's UConn, Houston, Purdue, and then Carolina. At least on their site.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have yeah, I think those are the four on their site. Yeah. Nobody that perfect bracket is crazy, guys.
I
That
mean,
perfect bracket is crazy.
the odds of getting there are really crazy. So it's probably not going to happen again.
I'm
Sometimes
not
you get a
I
bunch of
don't think
people that are close late in the like an Elite Eight or something like that. It might be a few people that still have a perfect bracket, and
for real.
sometimes
That
it's
great.
close.
You gotta have that's a lot.
Just got to pick some upsets.
I got 312s though. I don't that's a lot, Craig. That's a lot. I got 312s.
Hmm.
I think that's too much, Craig.
I mean, it might happen.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna probably update it because that 312 is too much. You know, I'm doing too much. I gotta pull back one of the 12s. I'll probably if it is, I'll probably do San Diego State beating UAB. I could, but McNeese is a dangerous one. Oregon is an 11 seed. I
Yeah.
like Colorado State, but Texas is pretty good.
Well, usually you get a team that plays on Tuesday and Wednesday. They usually advance past the first round. At least one of the 10 or the 11, whoever it's going to be. So in this case, Colorado State's at 10, and the winner of tonight's game, I think, is in. I think they're 10, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Either they're 10 or they are a 10. It's Boise State and Colorado.
Yeah.
I think they play Florida or something like that. And then if they
so
Florida actually played well in the tournament, so I don't really know about them, but
it's gonna be
crazy.
It's gonna be interesting, man. 8 and 9s are they're always hard. I mean, they're probably the hardest. I don't have no 13 seeds beating any 4s. I don't have any 3s losing to any 14 seeds. I don't have any 4s losing to 13.
A couple 13s beating 4s.
For real?
Yeah.
What you have? Charleston? Sanford. Sanford's a big pick.
I had Charleston.
Kansas. You got Charleston too?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about Sanford, man.
I'm still iffy on Kansas. I know Hunter Dickinson should be back.
That Sanford pick might be an upset, brother. I've seen that. If I do change McNeese, because it's not going to be a 12 versus 13. That's just not going to happen.
It might.
You think so?
I picked a 12 and a 13.
Craig, you might.
This is my second bracket, though. I mean, this is my second one. But I'm just picking some upsets that might happen. I did pick 12 and a 13, but I'm not really like confident on it or like overly confident on it. But I picked it. I might change it tomorrow. I'm still messing with it, but
I'm a mess with it. I'm a mess with it. I'm a mess with it. I'm looking now. I'm gonna mess with it. I'm not gonna leave my champion, but like I might have some 13s. People talk about Yale. It's another one. People talk about. Some people have been saying Duke might be upset the first round. Have you heard that?
Not in the first round, no. But I heard. I mean, I'm not picking Duke to win the championship.
No. I think Duke. I have them winning, but then they lose to James Madison. I got James Madison's another good 12. A lot of good 12s, 13s this year. Yeah, this is gonna be very interesting, man. Yeah, I'm gonna probably play around with it a little bit more, but like some people have the Grand Canyon's another one. I've been hearing about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna play around. I got another bracket. I'm gonna play around with it, but this is gonna be fun. I can't wait. I'm getting excited, man. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to. I'll be able to watch some on my lunchtime, but it's gonna be hard.
I gotta watch them at my desk. Yeah. But it won't be the same. and then I gotta drive home. So there's gonna be a couple games going on, like probably about 4 games going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Carolina starts at 2:45. So I don't get home usually until about 3:15, 3:20. So Carolina would be about halfway through the first half at that point, possibly. So, and there's a bunch of other games going on. And hopefully that game's a blowout, so that way I can just turn to some other game that may be more
Yeah, I think it's
competitive.
gonna be a blowout. Wagner, yeah, I think it's gonna be a blowout.
They played. I mean, they. I watched the game last night against Howard. They looked. Because I wanted to see what. At least I didn't watch the whole game, but I wanted to see some certain things.
Yeah.
What was happening. And Howard came. They were down by 17. They came back, cut it to 1, but they had three chances to tie the game at the end, and they missed all 3 shots. But
yeah,
that pressure that they put on, and Howard's not a deep team, so I wanted Howard to win because they only have 6 people, 6-man rotation. They're gonna get worn down by Carolina. But Wagner is a different team, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, I wanted Howard to win because
local.
Yeah, man, HBC, man. They've been playing really well recently, actually, the past couple of years.
They made a tournament last year, and they made it this year. First time they ever made it back to back.
They're doing good. They're whoever's in charge of the basketball program and the recruiting, they're doing a good job, man. They're doing a good job. You know what? And I know you grew up in this era. I do miss Georgetown making it. You know what I'm saying? Georgetown was a nice school to be thrown in.
I don't think I'm just not a local
fan guy.
Any team around here. Georgetown, Maryland.
I haven't seen Maryland. Jeez.
Any team.
When's the last time Maryland been in it?
I can't stand. I don't like them. They were in a few years ago. The women actually had a down year this year too. I think they're a 10 seed, so they're not doing too well either. Normally they're somewhere near the top of at least a 3, maybe 4 at the lowest. Usually,
college basketball. All right, here's the weird thing about college basketball. So growing up, my favorite color was blue, so I liked the Gators in football. Before Tim Tebow, I'm talking about Danny Werfel winning the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? We could never beat Florida State or Miami. And that's how long I was a Florida fan. When Steve Spurrier was the head coach. Right? I still follow them now, but I follow the NFL more. But I'm in the NBA, but I'm a college football fan. So I watch whatever games. And for basketball, I just never had a team. I just like to watch. Even you know how you're like a Carolina all the way. I wasn't Florida all the way with basketball. I just like to watch the college basketball. I like the Michigan with Juwan Howard. I like UNLV. I like Carolina. I don't know. Duke was always okay. I like to watch Maryland. It's just college basketball is I just like it around conference championship time, around the winter time, conference championship and March Madness. And I just love the purity of the sport. But I just, as far as local teams, probably Bowie State. Probably same with football. But I don't know. I got older and it was just NFL, NBA, and it's just I like watching college just to watch. I don't know what happened. I can't tell you.
I'm always been college is my number one. At least Carolina's my number one team, so it's pretty much them before anybody else for me. Even over football, which I know football is king or whatever, but to me, college basketball beats any sport that I'd rather watch all year round. Especially when it comes to the tournament itself. I think it's the best in sports. So
it's probably that college football is probably the purest form you're going to probably get in sports.
I'm not even really into college football. Well, college football I like college football, but it's just I don't know,
college
basketball college basketball for me. Basketball is my favorite sport anyway, but it's something about college basketball, like the atmosphere. how the fans be going crazy, and it's just like the upsets that happen. I see more upsets in college basketball than
crazy
college football.
Crazy.
Like the parity over the last, I don't know how many years, 10 plus years now, has been, it's getting to the point where now a lot of these, like looking at last year, like I said earlier, with Miami making it, San Diego State and FAU making it. Obviously, you had a blue blood in there with UConn. But, I mean, you got 3 teams who have never been there or haven't been there. I don't think none of those teams ever been to the Final Four. Could be wrong. But
no, I don't think so.
I mean, you got just like non-traditional college teams in college basketball anyway, making the Final Four. So I don't really see that too. I mean, I know college football doesn't have a 64 plus team tournament, but I don't know, man. I'm getting to the point. I know they're going to expand it this year, and they're even talking about doing 14-team playoff. But I'm just kind of tired of seeing the same, like 4 teams over and over.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to that college football playoff.
Maybe when they expand it, I'll get more into it, and it'll be a lot better for me to see some other teams have an opportunity to win versus saying the same 4, or like maybe not 4, but like same 8 teams over and over again competing basically for a championship out of 100 plus college football teams.
Because it's going what? It's going.
It's like anybody.
It's going 12 next year, right?
Supposedly, it's going to 12, but I heard they were talking about doing 14.
They should. Why not? They should.
14.
I would love it.
I think 14 next year, next season, maybe.
I would love it. I love it. I
just want to see something more than 4.
Yeah.
So we get the opportunity to see more than 4.
Yes, I would love that, man. Because then then you get an opportunity to see. Listen, like there's no more. We should have made it. It's like you've made it. Prove like win. Let's see. And I hope it's like every tournament, like like
still gonna
all right, it's hard in the NFL, right? Most times in the NFL, it's same with the NBA. I mean, it's like you might get one round upset, but then it's like the good teams, especially if it's NFL, you got dynasties, and NBA, you got dynasties, so it's hard. But like, I hope it becomes like college basketball, which I think it is, hopefully, because I want to see some of those dominant schools get knocked down. I do.
I'm here for greatness. I love seeing greatness, but at the same time, I want to see other schools have a possible opportunity with a chance. I mean, and even if you expanded to 14, you're still going to have teams like you got college basketball. You got teams that don't make the tournament out of 60. I don't know how many teams is in the thing. 68, 64, 72, whatever it is. How many teams it is when you include the Tuesday and Wednesday games. I think it's 68. You have teams that are 69 and 70 that don't make the tournament, and it's just like, well, this team could have made the tournament or they had an opportunity to make the tournament. They got snubbed or whatever it is. So I think you're going to have that in college football, regardless of expanding it to 14 teams or not, because it just is what it is. Like I know a lot of people said Pittsburgh should have been in the NCAA tournament, which I agree. And Virginia should have been out, or whatever the case may be. But you're always going to have that conversation of who got snubbed and who didn't, and who deserves to be in the tournament or whatever. So,
let me ask you this. I saw this topic on the Odd Couple, but I didn't listen to it or give it any juice. Like I saw it a couple times. I was like, okay. But the topic was, should the NCAA tournament, the basketball, expand? Should it expand? I was like, that's a lot. What do you thought? Because I didn't listen to it. I think it's in a good space, the basketball tournament. Do you think they should expand? They could, and it wouldn't affect them.
Think so. I'm fine with it the way it is, but I mean, I know back before I started. I mean, back in the day, they only had like half the field. It was only like 32 teams.
Okay.
And then people were talking about, well, should they expand it? And then they expanded it to 64 or 60 something or whatever it is. And then it went from 64 to what it is now, expanding it a little bit further. So, I mean, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think they need to expand it to 70 plus teams or whatever they're gonna expand it to.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna stop watching. I wouldn't be opposed to.
I'd be interested
actually watching it, but I mean, I just don't think that they need to go out and add extra teams. And I think I heard this too, and I heard they were going to keep. I mean, everything would still stay the same. Like they would still start on a Thursday, like they are now. So that none of the dates would change. It's just the extra teams would change. So that means you probably have 3 or 4 playing games on Tuesday instead of 2. And then the same thing on Wednesday. You just have an extra 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which, I mean, it would be cool because it's extra basketball. But like I said, I just don't think they need to expand it. But even if you do, you're still going to have, team 70. It's going to be it's just a lose-lose situation. I mean, not lose-lose, but you're just never going to win that battle because you're always going to have teams and analysts that say they should have got in over X team.
Yeah. A lot of, like, not complaining, but it's like, it's always going to be a case made.
It's hard. I mean, the thing you should try to do is try to get into the top half.
Yeah.
You can't make the top 30 or top 50 out of 68 teams, possibly expanding to 72 teams, then
that's
I mean, you just weren't good enough to make the tournament at that point. And you got to look at your schedule, who you played, your non-conference schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really do too much about the conference schedule because that's pretty much it. You're playing who you're going to play. But your non-conference schedule, who'd you play? Did you play on the road? Did you play at home? Did you play a bunch of cupcakes? Some people play a bunch of cupcakes, and then that's why they're not in the tournament on the road or non-conference in general. So,
thinking about expanding, I've touched on this. You were advocate for it, but I've been hearing some talks, man. Actually, hold on. Let me, before I bring it up. Yeah. Before I segue to the next topic, I heard the NFL is thinking about 18 games, and then they would just push the Super Bowl. This is on Rich Eisen. And when I saw it and I heard about it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. The Super Bowl will be Martin Luther King weekend. No, I'm sorry, President's Day weekend.
I think
makes sense. Everybody's off Monday.
I think that they just need that. That'll be fine. I still think that they need to add an extra playoff team.
I think with 8, I think if they do 18, if they do 18 weeks, I think they have to.
People were complaining about if you add an extra playoff team.
No, I love
it. They're gonna get beat by the one. They're gonna get blown out. I mean, I don't think that's
Dallas lost.
It's possible. That's what I'm saying. It's not always set in stone just because you're the one. No. You're gonna automatically beat the 8. I mean, if you look at it from last year, the 8 in the NFC would have been a 9-8 Seahawks team.
Okay.
It's not like they were under 500. They're not going to be under 500. In the AFC, you got a 9-8 Bengals team. Now, the Bengals probably, I mean, maybe they could have put up a game because we've seen backup quarterbacks like Skylar Thompson last year go on the road in Buffalo with Miami, who's not a full weather team, and almost win that game.
Yeah.
So who's to say that the Bengals with their backup quarterback, I can't remember his name, could have won into Baltimore and given them a game. Even if they had lost, they could have given them a game.
Jake Browning.
Yeah. Same thing with Seattle. Seattle wasn't playing too great. I mean, I know Gino had a worse year this year than last year, but they know San Francisco. They played them last year in the playoffs. They played them 3 times last year. If they made the playoffs this year with 8 teams, that's another team. They could have possibly given them a game or possibly I mean, maybe they would have got blown out. Who knows? Like they did last year, but anything's in a one team or a one game playoff like college basketball, like the NFL, college football. All it takes is one day that your team is putting up your A+ game, and the other team that's supposed to win the game is putting up a B- C+ game.
So
like you said, Dallas and Green Bay.
That's what I'm saying. I love it. And you know what? If they do it, everybody's going to watch. I'm going to watch because it's an extra playoff. So how would they do it? It would be the 1 seed would still get a bye.
No, if they did 8 teams.
If they did 8 teams,
nope.
they can't. Nobody
will get a bye. Well, one would just play 8.
Because it can't. Yeah, you can't have a bye.
They would just have to figure out the days that the games are going to be played. I guess you could do 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 2 on Monday.
Yeah.
Something like that.
You could do it just like that. Yeah, it would be the number 1 seed. Yeah, because it couldn't. The number 1 seed would have to play.
You're the number 1 seed. Let the both number 1 seeds play on Monday or something for.
Yeah.
It's not a bye, but you give them an extra day.
Extra day, an
incentive, or an extra 2 days or whatever it is that they normally would have had the possibility to play on. Instead of playing on Saturday, you give them 2 extra days. Instead of playing on Sunday, you give them an extra day.
The only other way, if you. So, yeah, it will be no buys. Unless they go, the first 2 seeds get a bye, and then it would be 4 and 5. You see, it's going to be hard to,
that wouldn't work either. You would have to do.
It's going to be hard because you're going to have 7 versus 8.
No, you couldn't do that.
They're going to have to,
You would have to do 3 against 8, 4 against 7, and 5 against 6.
3 against 8. Yeah, 4 against 7, 5 against 6.
That's the only way
that could work.
That's the only way it would work. I mean, there's no reason.
Yeah. But it sounds like I think they're gonna go towards if they go to 18. So here's NFL should do
this. They do need to go to 18 because it's stupid.
If they go to 18, they should go to 8 teams, no buys for the number 1 seed. And do you think each team should get 2 bye weeks? If they go to 18 weeks? If the NFL goes to 18 weeks, do you
want to do that? Then fine. I don't care. As long as you just have an even amount of games.
Yeah, cut the preseason.
You have 8 teams.
Not cut the preseason.
7 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. If you want to push the season back an extra week or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be a week, I think it'd be a week. Because I think it's on the second.
If you have an extra bye week, you're going to push it back. Oh, no. I don't know. No. Yeah, you would have.
Well, if you get rid of that preseason week, right?
Yeah, but then if you push it up, you're going to push into college football. College football starts on Labor Day. Normally. That's their big.
No, I think they're probably not gonna mess with that. They're probably gonna do the 8th. That's you know what that y'all got to put us on this committee so we can figure this out. That would be a very interesting project I would like to be a part of to figure out, because I do believe 8 playoff teams. Do the first 2 seeds get a bye, or nobody gets a bye? And because we eliminate buys in the playoff, each team gets 2 buys. Be interesting. And conversation. It's a conversation to be had. And I think the NFL is going to do it. And I think they should. I think they should. 18 games, baby. Also, shout out to one of my friends. The committee, the competition committee, was talking. They're going to get rid of the hip drop tackle. it's a certain tackle you like. They drop you drop it. It's a lot of injuries that occur when offensive players. He was like, they're getting soft, and I was like, well, I don't think the NFL wants to get sued again. And a lot of players complain about that. They complain about the drop hit tackle. So I was like, I mean, I think it's gonna be. I think I think they should do it, and hopefully they're talking about. I think they need to get rid of kickoffs. I do. I don't know. Like I don't. I mean, I don't understand the purpose of it. When's the last time somebody scored a kickoff for a touchdown? Was it like 2%? No, I'm sorry. You can still do kickoffs. I want them this year to implement what we talked about last year. And then we're going to talk about Justin Fields. I really want them to implement, Craig, if it's fourth down, in overtime, you have a chance to, instead of kicking an onside kick, you have a chance to go for it on fourth down. It'll be a 4th and 15. I hope they change that. I don't like the onside kick. It's a what, 1% chance? Did anybody even recover onside kick last year?
Yeah, there were a few. It wasn't many, but there were. I think it's more. It's higher than 1%, but it's not. It's not high. It's got to be like 5% or something like that. Maybe less than that. I don't know, but to me, that's why I was brought it up last. I think I brought it up last year because
you did.
The XFL did it, and this is when I guess the NFL was, partnered with the XFL, and they might still be partnered with the UFL, but they had.
I think they are. I think they're partnered with them
where they would let them test stuff out, and then I don't know why you wouldn't let them test stuff like that out, and then you wouldn't implement it. It would just be a more exciting play as well. Like an onside kick is exciting, I guess, to a certain extent, but I mean, majority of the time, most likely you're not going to recover that. Versus a 4th and 15, yeah, it's a 4th and 15, but I think there's more of an opportunity to get a 4th and 15 than an onside kick. And it'll be a more exciting play. So you can have a penalty. You can have a bunch of different things, a bunch of different scenarios where you know a pass is coming, but you still can't. Someone might catch a 6-yard pass and then go extra 9 yards or whatever.
Yeah.
So I hope they change that rule, but
no. So I'm looking on the website. So it's 2 major rules. They said they're gonna adjust the hip drop tackles, of course. They said so you know how they kick off in the XFL? How like the kicker punch it?
How the kicker what?
They're gonna do it like the XFL. Where it looks like the ball be placed on the 35-yard line and returners will not be allowed. So they said that the competition committee they would adjust the kickoffs with the XFL. So it would be on the kickoff, the kicker would boot the ball from the 35-yard line, while the rest of the kicking team will be at the receiving team's 40-yard line. The return team will at least have 9 players between the 30 and 35 line, called the setup zone, with up to 2 returners between the end zone and the 20-yard line and the landing zone. No one, either besides the kick returner or returner, can be allowed to move till the ball is caught off ground. Let me see. Let me see if I can share. Let me see. Hold on, I'm gonna bring it up because this is what they're talking about right now. All right, let me know. Bam, you see it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what they're talking about right here. I wish I could play it. Hold on. Let me see if it plays.
Kicker from the 30. Return team lined up at the
So that's
30.
interesting.
Move to the ball is fielded, and here goes Keith Humphrey, and they're going to turn it around.
That's interesting, Craig.
And for the first time, they get creative. And
Like the way they're lined up.
And a kickoff return for Joe Powell. Kicker from
man, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be more exciting.
The ball is fielded, and here goes.
I think it'll be more exciting.
And they're going to turn it around with room on the near side.
Interesting. I'm gonna see if they're gonna use that. But I mean, look, if they make those two rules, I think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I think that's cool if they do it like that. But they need to change it, man. Anyway, very odd thing. I don't know if it's odd, but I didn't see this coming. Well, I knew. Okay, we all knew Caleb Williams was going to get drafted number 1. Mo was on this weird island. I don't know what island he was on. It's called the Justin Fields. I get it. I like Justin Fields. If they had the number 4th pick, they wouldn't have drafted the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? They would just build around Justin Fields. Here's the thing. The Bears traded Justin Fields to the Steelers. Now, Craig, the Steelers just got Russell Wilson. So let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on Justin Fields going to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because he wanted to request it to be there. He requested that trade.
I mean, I'm okay with it. It's a change of scenery. It's a different atmosphere. He goes to a very more established coach who obviously has a winning culture. So you're pretty much going to have an opportunity to contend for at least a playoff spot or whatever the case may be. It's got to be it's definitely a better situation than where he was at with Chicago, and Chicago didn't want him anyway. At this point, pretty much they were going to take they were going to take Caleb Williams. Yeah. So at that point, when you don't want to be, you don't want to be there, but I just figure he might go to a team. I don't have a problem with it because in the long haul, like for the future, I guess he's probably the starter. He's still got to get signed or whatever the case may be. But I kind of thought maybe he would go to a team where he could start right away, or at least have a easier path to start right away, like Denver.
Oakland.
Now, I don't know. Maybe these teams weren't interested in him. Denver,
Oakland,
Minnesota, Vegas. Those are the 3 teams who need a quarterback right now.
Yes.
That, I guess they could take one in the draft, but maybe they weren't interested. Maybe they've seen enough out of Fields over the last couple seasons, or they just don't want to take a flyer on him. And also, if you take a quarterback, you're resetting the market on a quarterback contract, so you don't have to worry about paying Justin Fields. Even though, to me, he's not going to command a lot of money, but he would command more money than a rookie quarterback would at this point.
Yeah.
So I could understand possibly that, but if I'm Fields, I'm going to a better situation, a better team, and I like the move. I guess sort of. I'm not all the way 100% on with it, just because, like I said, I don't know how he's going to start. He's probably not even they both kind of in the same situation where they both going to new team, a new offense, and everything like that. So everything's going to be new for both guys. So if he doesn't start, then he's going to be and say he doesn't start, and not only say he doesn't start, but say he doesn't start and Russell Wilson plays great the whole season. What is he? He just wasted his time going there.
Yeah.
To get an opportunity. So it's, to me, both guys have an opportunity to start. I don't think either one is head and shoulders above the other one at this point. But if Russell Wilson, who I think I think he's going to win the starting job just because he has more experience and he's been to the Super Bowl and all that stuff. He's probably going to win the job, and if he does, and he just doesn't get off the field, then Fields just wasted. To me, he wasted his years, or at least wasted a season.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know if those other teams were interested. Maybe they weren't. That's I don't know. But you said this was his destination.
Yeah,
to go.
He wanted to go.
And this was after Russ was already there. So, right? Yeah, this is after, or was it?
Yeah.
Before? Yeah. So I don't know.
He said he liked stability. That's what he said.
I mean, that's fine. That's that's a big thing. But if you got stability, but you're not getting any playing time, boy, I mean, he just has to hope that he beats out Russ, or Russ plays bad, or Russ gets hurt. I hate to say Russ gets hurt, but one of those three options, I guess, at this point, because
Russ really don't get hurt like that either.
That's what I was about to say. Russ is more durable than most, so he's probably not going to get hurt.
Yeah,
so you got to worry about him playing bad.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay. You like everybody else. I mean, I kept hearing it, but when Mac Jones got traded for a 6, I was like, oh, this isn't good. And then Kirk Cousins went to Atlanta, and then when the Raiders signed Gardner Minshew, I was like, okay, either y'all are drafting a quarterback, because if y'all not drafting a quarterback, Antonio Pierce is not in a good situation.
No.
Because I'm gonna be honest. If they don't, they must be planning on drafting a quarterback. They have to. Because I would rather go in. This is just me. I would rather have Justin Fields starting than Gardner Minshew. That's just me. Because at the end of the day, if they both give you the same results, I like Gardner Minshew. I just think he's a good backup. I think Justin Fields, I want to see a little bit more from him. That's all. I've seen what I've seen from Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew's a great backup. I think he's a great veteran to have in a locker room. I think he's a professional. I think he comes to work. But I would like to see Justin Fields in a situation where he could start. Now, some people, shout out to Nick Wright on First Things First, he thinks Russell Wilson is washed. Me and Faith were having a conversation. If y'all don't know Faith, my wife, we have a conversation yesterday, and she's like, do you think Russell Wilson's done? I was like, I don't know. I was like, this is his last shot. This is Russell Wilson's last shot. So whatever I was like, I told her, I said, babe, this is sports, man. Sometimes athletes, when they get a certain age, they drop off. And it's just, there's no explanation for it. They just drop. They start getting hurt. When you start getting 30s, right? I said, everybody's not Tom Brady and LeBron and Tiger, and Serena. Those are outliers. You know what I'm saying? Even Kobe started to break down at that age. Mike, it's hard. It's hard to do, man. I love Russell Wilson. He's one of my favorite players, but I don't know, Craig. With that said, Justin Fields, I think he wanted to be around good coaching and a good culture. I think Pittsburgh offers that. I mean, you got Mike Tomlin. He's a great coach, who they haven't extended, by the way. So I don't know what's going on. Like we said, okay. Russ's ceiling, they could win a playoff game. If Russ does what Baker did, this last year, he's good to go. If he does not, he still gets another $38 million and is probably a backup because Denver owes him another $38 million or so. With Fields, man, some people say he's going to start week 8. I don't know, Craig. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I thought there was going to be more of a market for Justin Fields. I thought it was. I was like, oh, Atlanta's going to jump on him. No, I understand they got Kirk Cousins. I get that. You know, but then I was like, all right, Raiders, no. Denver, no. And then when Minnesota traded for that other first rounder, I was like, oh, they're gonna draft. They're gonna try to draft JJ McCarthy. That's what everybody say. It's no secret. They probably already know who they're gonna trade with. It's either gonna be the Cardinals or the Chargers. You know? I hope Justin Fields gets a shot, man. It's just I don't know if he's gonna get in Pittsburgh. I don't know, Craig. It's I don't know, man. It's a tough thing. I don't. Now here's my other question: do you think Justin Fields will be starting by the end of the season? Because some people are picking him to.
I don't know if he. I mean, I can't really say for sure, but if I had to guess, I'd probably say maybe. It just depends on how Russ plays and how the team is performing with Russ or I guess gravitating toward Russ and accepting him as their quarterback, and there's no animosity, there's no like we want Fields or whatever it is. Let's see what the kid can do. Now, if they're out of the playoffs at some point and they're like 2-6 and it's week 9, then okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen because Pittsburgh has never really been in that situation before, at least not since Tomlin's been there. Not to that extent, anyway.
No,
something like that. Then yeah, okay, go ahead and put Fields in there. Let's see what he got for the rest of the season. There's no need to try. We're not going to the playoffs. You can say that and just trot Russ out there and see what he's got. That way, you can make a determination on if you want to sign him next season to a longer-term deal. I think. Okay, so. I'm going to say that I think they need to put him on the field at some point.
Okay.
To see exactly what he can do and how he acts and plays in this offense. So that way you can make a determination on if you want to sign him for next season or not.
Yeah.
Also, I want to know if Tomlin's coming back, because if Tomlin's not coming back and a new head coach comes in, he might not want Fields. He might want he might want Russ. He might want somebody else. Yes. So that all plays.
Or they might pull a Sean Payton, you know,
possibly. So you got to just factor a lot of that in. But just for this season coming up, I will at least try to get him on the field for a few games to see if he's not going to start the season. Start at least get him in a couple games to figure out where this team is with him and what is he going to do for next season, possibly. Plus, it could be an audition for other teams out there that's looking at Fields in a different situation, a different offense. And maybe if he's not signed by Pittsburgh next season, he becomes a free agent. Maybe some other team out there might want to take a chance on him.
Yeah, I agree with you. And look, the good thing with Justin Fields is the system he's going to be in. Arthur Smith is a quarterback-friendly system. He runs the ball. They have 2 great running backs. I think Pickens is the number 1. Fairmouth is good. They got flexibility to do some stuff. They're going to run the ball. It's going to be a lot of play action. You know, if you could just remember what like Tannehill did, you know, with those Tennessee offenses. They got to the AFC Championship game, Craig. But we'll see. Heavy run, RPO. Pittsburgh defense they signed Patrick Queen. So You know, they
Yeah,
got
the defense-
flexibility with this. What do they have? The 20th. They have the 20th pick, so they can get somebody pretty good. They can solidify the O line. They can trade back. They can get a wide receiver. That's why they probably trade Deontay Johnson. They might be able to get a draft a younger. It's going to be some good receivers in the 20s that's going to be available. It's going to be Brian Thomas might be there from LSU. He might be. The mock draft I'm looking at, they predicted him to go there, but like they could, like Daniel Jeremiah has, Tyler Guyton, tackle from Oklahoma, so they can get they might be able to get a good corner, right? I think they're pretty straight on defense, but they're gonna basically have a pick of the litter of what they want. This is going to be interesting. The question is this going to be Tomlin's last year because they haven't extended him? And Tomlin might want to take a year off, man. You might want to do TV for a year. Or he goes to Philly, Dallas. It's gonna be some jobs that open up next year, man. I'm just saying, I don't know. Jerry Jones didn't commit to Mike McCarthy. I think Nick Sirianni's on a thin leash. You have who else you think? Mike McDaniels might be on a hot seat. Sean McDermott might be. If I think that when you have Josh Allen, you can have a chance. But say Buffalo gets out of the first round, Sean McDermott might be gone. Mo won them 4 years ago. But, it might be some jobs opening up next year, man. Might be some jobs, man. All right, guys. Now we're ready for... Is it panic time or not? Bam. All right, guys. Is it panic time or not? Basically, this is time to press the panic button or relax. Because it's the NCAA tournament, we're going to have some tournament guys on there. And right now, some upsets. Is it time? Purdue, the panic button or not? Everybody's picking you to win. But it's a lot of people picking you for upsets as well. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You don't know, Purdue. But I'm going to say panic because I think you guys are going to panic. Also, shout out to Duke. You haven't been playing good this year. I don't think you have. I think you're going to get upset. Craig loves that. Carolina guy. But yeah, got Duke getting out of there, man. It's time to press the panic button, Duke. You like to trick people, right? You're going to get tripped up in the first round or the second round. Be careful. Panic button. All the Duke fans in there, press it. You got a panic button at home? Press it. Because it's coming. It's don't worry. And listen, all the 5 seeds, be very careful. The 4 seeds, be very careful. Some 6 seeds, Clemson, watch out. Be careful, guys. Because this year, the tournament, somebody is going to be pressing the panic button. And it's going to start tomorrow at noon. And I can't wait. Let's go. Tournament time. All right, guys. We're going to end with Craig's top 5. Let's go.
Okay. So, what the hell's going on?
You're getting the full intro, man. Craig's top 5. Let's go.
So, So this week with the tournament going on, I did my top 5 upset alerts. So actually, I don't even know if this is really in order, but I'm gonna just because I really didn't think about it like that. But number 1 is Samford, number 13 Samford over number 4 Kansas. I think Kansas they've had a lot of ups and downs. This hasn't been a typical Kansas year. Normally they're like a top 3 at worst seed, maybe usually fighting for a 1 or a 2.
Mm-hmm.
And this year they've had a lot of tough losses, especially on the road. And then the losses keep coming because they just lost their best player, Kevin McCullough Jr., the leading scorer. He's out for this tournament, and Hunter Dickinson didn't play in the SEC or the Big 12 tournament at all. And the first game they got blown up by like 30. So he should be back. He's got a shoulder injury. I think his shoulder popped out of place or something like that. He was actually on the radio yesterday talking to one of the local stations because he's from Alexandria. So he was talking to them about his shoulder and about the team and things like that. So it's possible that he's going to play or he's going to play well. But they got to watch out for Sanford, man, because I don't think Sanford's going to be scared of this team without their top 2 players, or at least without one of their top 2. They become more vulnerable. Hunter Dickinson, if he's not 100% healthy and the team is not pulling on all cylinders like a typical Kansas team should, it's possible. Yeah. And it's possible that they could get upset. So I'm looking at Sanford, who can run up and down the court. So and they got a pretty deep rotation, and Kansas rotation not looking too swell right now. So I got to go that route with Sanford over Kansas. Another one, I got Oregon, number 11 seed against number 6 South Carolina. South Carolina, I actually like them this year. They've actually played pretty well. They've surprised me. I didn't think they were going to be nowhere near as good as they are. But this Oregon team, though, man, like this team can score. They like to run up and down the court. I saw what they did to Arizona. They were down early and they never gave up. They came back and they wound up winning that game. South Carolina, man, sometimes they look good and then sometimes they disappear and they just look bad. So this is a coin flip, even though it's 11-6. I think it could definitely go either way. But I think Oregon has an opportunity here with this matchup that they got to overtake South Carolina here and advance further into the tournament. My next one is the one we talked about earlier, I think. Grand Canyon, the 12 against St. Mary's, the 5. This is a typical 5-12. Like we've seen this, I don't know how many times. But it seems like I think it's 32 of the last 38 games, matchups between the 5 and the 12 that 12 was won or something like that. I got to get the actual at least one number 12 seed is defeated number 5 in 32 of the 38 tournaments. Yep. That's what it is. So, I mean, I don't think last year there was a 5-12 or upset or a 12-5 upset, but it's possible this year again because there look like some good matchups there for some of these 12s. And I mean, you got 2 mid-majors playing each other with St. Mary's against Grand Canyon. And I'm just not convinced. I mean, I saw what St. Mary's did this year. I saw what they did to Gonzaga in their tournament championship game, but this Grand Canyon team, man, I like the way they're playing at this point. They got a guy on there who's averaging about 20 points a game or close to 20 points. Grant Foster is their best scorer. So the only thing about it is that St. Mary's, they don't allow a lot of 3-pointers. So I'm kind of weary about that, but I think this Grand Canyon team can actually put up some points, and they're very efficient on both ends. So it's going to be a tough matchup. My number 2, you talked about this earlier as well. New Mexico at 11, Clemson at 6. I don't like the way Clemson's playing coming into this tournament. I didn't like the way they were playing coming into the ACC tournament, and ended up they ended up getting beat. But Clemson can beat pretty much anybody out there if they play well enough. I know they beat Carolina at Carolina, which is a place they never really win at. I think they've only won there twice ever. So this year, so it's possible that they could definitely win the game. But I think this Lobos team, I think they're just a really good team at taking care of the ball. Not only do they take care of the ball, but they force turnovers on the other end. So this team has definitely the most, but one of the at near the top in terms of potential to make a long run. And not only that, they're in other than Carolina and Arizona, there's really nobody else to me that I would be even worried about in their West bracket. So they have definitely an opportunity. I think they can pull it off.
Yeah.
And number 1 is James Madison, the 12 seed against Wisconsin, the 5. James Madison, a local team. I know Wisconsin made it to their conference tournament game or conference championship game. They ended up losing to Illinois, but it's just something about this James Madison team, man. Like, this is another team where I think they won 30 plus games. So they won a ton of games. They like to push the pace. They like to run up and down the court. Wisconsin does not defend the 3 well. So, and James Madison's they're usually pretty aggressive on the defensive end, and they don't allow teams to shoot a high percentage from 3. You got one team that gives up a bunch of 3s, or they don't play the 3 well, and the other team in James Madison plays the 3 well. So this team's going to be tough. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat not only this team, but they beat the winner of Duke, Vermont, and have to go up against possible Houston. But yeah, I did pick.
Yeah, that's my pick right there. They gonna go. James Madison gonna go, man. They gonna.
I got them in my bracket. I'm hoping they can possibly pull off an upset here, especially in that next round. Because if they play Duke, I really want them out.
I think they're gonna play Duke.
But
I'm interested in that Sanford, man.
Sanford, it's just I'm just not. I don't know what's going on with Kansas. Kansas just doesn't have the same look of Kansas that used to scare and intimidate teams.
Yeah,
this season as they did the couple previous seasons, and they just got Hunter Dickinson, who's a transfer from Michigan.
Yeah.
So I thought this team was going to be, and they were like a top 3, top 4 team when the season started, but the way it shook out, and then obviously with the injuries, just never know. So we'll see what happens. It's
gonna be some that's Sanford, and then McNeese. It's like I don't know. I might make some.
I had McNeese, but I took them. They were probably my 6 in terms of my top 5. They were
I might pick because I got a lot of 12s beating 5s, but that's Sanford, Kansas. I might switch that one, man. I have James Madison. I'm locked in with them. I'm locked in with them. I think I might. Yeah, that Sanford, Kansas is interesting. And McNeese. I gotta look at that, but I can't wait. It's gonna be some good games, man. This is gonna be McNeese is very interesting. It's gonna be very interesting, man.
And the game right now is in overtime. The 2 16s playing each other.
For real, that have to play Purdue.
Yeah, whoever wins plays Purdue. Is Grambling State and Montana State. They went to overtime. But then that means the second game going to start 30 minutes later, probably, or something.
Yep.
I'm not staying up for that one.
I might finish watching this one. But all right, guys. We are out. We're gonna see y'all next week. We'll be back at our regular scheduled Tuesday time.
Next week.
You said what?
We'll be in the Sweet 16 next week.
We'll be in the Sweet 16. Yep, March 26th. Goodness. We'll be in the Sweet 16. So we're gonna talk about the Sweet 16 upsets, tournaments, Mo's going to be back with the picks. We're going to talk about the draft. We're going to do our mock draft 1 through 10, maybe more, because we got to do after free agency. Now some teams have made some signings. You know, the Jets might. We don't know what the Jets are going to do. We Minnesota's gearing up to make a move. You know, it's going to be – this is going to be some good talk. And then we'll talk about some NBA. Oh, before we go, guys, LeBron James and JJ Redick have a podcast called Mind the Game, and YouTube show. Craig, have you checked it out yet?
Sure have not.
Will you?
I might give it a shot. I'm gonna see what it's about. I like JJ's Old Man in the 3.
I love JJ Old Man in the 3. He breaks down a lot of.
I actually
a lot of games.
hated JJ Redick for a long time, obviously for Duke reasons.
Yeah.
But I've actually come around to him as an analyst and as a guy that has his own podcast.
Yeah.
And now he's calling games on ESPN every now and then. So I've actually come around to him, Jay Will. I haven't come around to Austin Rivers yet, but certain Duke guys I've come around on who I didn't like.
Yeah, Jay Will's pretty.
But what I like mostly about them is that they're pretty biased or unbiased, non-biased.
Unbiased, yeah. JJ Redick's unbiased.
JJ Redick, Jay Will, like I know they went to Duke and that's who they're gonna ride with, but they do usually try to call it fair.
Yeah.
In terms of, if Duke sucks or they're not playing well, they already do something like tripping some guy.
Yeah.
They'll usually try to call it out. So I'm cool with that. I like JJ. Like I look forward to him when he's on First Take or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I think he's very articulate and he's very knowledgeable and has the passion when he's talking about it. So I think I'll check out the podcast. I heard about it the other day, but I didn't really. I thought it was going to start after the season. I didn't know it was going to start.
Yeah,
I didn't came out. Okay, so I didn't really look into it too deep.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. I've been watching a lot of sports podcasts. Obviously, Club Shake Day.
Come on over, man.
All that
is better. It's to me, it's not mainstream. It's YouTube, and it's more information. Like the way that JJ Redick breaks down, it started first. It was I was like, oh my goodness. Now, listening to him, like him and Jay Bias, man. I mean Jay Billis, man. What they get on together, it's crazy. So I'm interested in this because I want to hear LeBron James talk about basketball. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear him. I just want to see this conversation. I think it's going to be a good basketball conversation. If you guys don't like, I have to put a disclaimer out there because some people think it's not Club Shay Shay when he's interviewing guys. It's like if you watch Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, or if you watch Gilbert Arenas, they're talking about their lives as basketball players. And they're talking about JJ Redick specifically talks about high-level basketball. High level. I'm trying to think the NFL ones that talk about high level. Maybe Kurt Warner and his quarterback club. He breaks down the game pretty thorough. Chase Daniels does too. But most of the other football podcasts, Shannon Sharp and Ocho, they'll talk about football, and then they'll talk about mixed with life in there. But they'll talk about football. But yeah, I can't wait for it, Craig. I subscribe to it. I haven't watched the first episode, LeBron James. I'll probably mind the game. Yep. I'm gonna probably tune in this weekend.
I can't get to it during the weekend.
Oh, it's a lot of basketball. I'm gonna figure it out. It might be next week. I'm gonna figure it out. That's why they probably dropped it. That's why they probably dropped it when they did.
I got to make sure I get all my stuff done on Saturday before 12. So I got to go food shopping and whatever else I need to do.
You know what? I got to take Faith to the. I'm gonna listen to it right. Yep, I already figured out when I'm gonna listen to it. I don't know. I might be watching. Okay, I'm gonna figure it out. I don't know when I'm gonna listen to it, but it's, it depends how long it is. Some podcasts be 2 hours, man.
Oh, this was only 45 minutes.
45 minutes, so that's good.
44 minutes.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I just appreciate podcasts that talk about it's different because it's not mainstream. Even Stephen A. When Stephen A. is not on ESPN and he talks on other podcasts, he talks different. I still disagree with him sometimes, but sometimes I understand. I'm like, okay, all right, I see why you did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I got you, Stephen A. But yeah, it's some good ones. Shady McCoy and Deshaun Jackson have one. I haven't tuned in yet to that. I don't know how it's going to be. When I watch like football podcasts, I like when they talk about their stories, their practices, and how they look at the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it when it's sometimes it's cool that they talk about current stuff, but I want to listen for their perspective of the football game. That's why I like Shannon Sharp and the way he'll break stuff down with Ocho Cinco. Like, Ocho, that's the Z route with the X. He's flat-footed in the zone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear that talk. I want to hear that jargon. That's what I want to hear. I'm that type of sports fan. I don't want to hear the cliche stuff. I want to hear the stories of what happened with the phone call, the conversation between you and the coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear that. That's what I want to hear. Stuff you don't get to hear on ESPN. But anyway, this weekend's going to be a good weekend. We're going to be watching a lot of sports. I'm going to be in the chat. Always, Craig. All right, guys. We're going to see y'all next Tuesday, Sweet 16. Mock draft after free agency and the latest NBA news. All right, guys. Fourth quarter is out. Peace.